All right, we're going to do some review of the coordinate plane and slopes. So this is the coordinate plane. Hopefully you remember that this horizontal axis is the x-axis. The vertical one is the y-axis. Okay. The origin is 0, 0. That's where my two axes meet each other. All right, and then the quadrants, this top right one is quadrant 1, and then we go counterclockwise, so the opposite of the way that the hands go around the clock. So this would be quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. All right, and we name the quadrants with Roman numerals. Okay. Ordered pairs, okay? Just a reminder, ordered pairs are always listed x comma y. So it's where are we going horizontally, where are we going vertically, okay? So if I were to name an ordered pair, A, to go to point A from the origin, I have to go left 1, 2, 3. So that is -3 on the x-axis. And then I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is +4 on the y-axis. All right, and that is in quadrant 2. Okay, so I want you to pause here and write the ordered pairs for and quadrants for the rest of these points, and then come back and see if you got them right. All right, here is the solutions. Okay, so double check your work. Put a star by something if you don't understand so you can ask about it in class. C and F are the two tricky ones because they are on an axis, so they're not out in the quadrant. So if they have a 0 in either the X or the Y, we just name the axis that it is on. Okay. All right, second thing we want to review is the slope. So this is a measure of the rate of change or the steepness of the line. So slope is written as a ratio of the vertical change, all right, so the change in y, to the horizontal change, the change in x. This remains the same, okay, or constant, you might see that word, the same or constant for any 2 points on the same line. So it doesn't matter if I go this point to this point, this point to this point, or from the beginning all the way to the end, the slope will remain the same. All right, slope is written as a fraction, always in simplest form. Okay, so we got to simplify those fractions. The variable for slope, it's a little counterintuitive, you wouldn't think, but it is m. So in an equation, m is the letter that we use for slope. All right, we got 4 different kinds of slope. So we always go left to right. So left to right, if my graph is going up, that would be a positive slope. Okay, left to right, if my graph is going down, that would be a negative slope. Okay, if my line is a flat horizontal line, that has a slope of 0. And if my line is a vertical line, straight up and down, that has a slope that is called undefined. All right. Um, this is just kind of extra if you need some help remembering. I was taught this way. It's just this little face. And if you look at this guy's little face, this eyebrow would have a positive slope. So that's why it has the eye that looks like a plus sign underneath it. This eyebrow would have a negative slope because it's going down. This straight up and down line would have an undefined slope, so that's a U. And then this straight horizontal line would have a slope of 0. All right, so just a little picture to help you remember. Okay. So when we find the slope, we need to find 2 points on the graph, and they have actually drawn 2 points for us, which is always nice. Okay, and we're going to count the rise over run. Okay, you might have seen that before, rise over run. So we're going to count from left to right. We're going to go either up or down, depending on where we got to go, and then right or left. So from this point to get to that point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the top of my fraction is going to be 7. And then to get over to that blue dot, I have to go right 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so my slope is 7/4, and that is already simplified, so that would be it. Okay, this one, here's my first point, here's my second point. All right, this time I'm counting down 1, 2, 3. So that would be -3. And then I'm going to count to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so negative 3 over 9, that can be simplified to negative 1/3. So the slope of this line is negative 1/3. All right. There's lots more examples here for you to try. We're going to save these for class. So I want you to skip ahead to the next page where we talk about the slope formula. Okay, so to find slope between two pairs when we don't have a graph drawn, I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to show you a formula and I'm going to show you the Miss Speaks way, and then you can pick whichever way makes the most sense to your brain. Okay, so the first way you might see is this formula, and so I label my ordered pair. This one, because it's the first ordered pair, is going to be x1, y1, and this one would be x2, y2. Okay, and so then we're going to plug them into this formula. So y2 is 3 minus y1, which is 1. And I'm actually going to put these in different colors to make it easier for you to see. So y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is 1. And then on the bottom, it's going to be x2, so 4, minus x1, which is 1, and then we're just going to do that math and simplify. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3, 2/3 is a simplified fraction, so that would be our slope. Okay, the second way that you can do this, I just like to draw lines. All right, so I go from y to y on the top, all right, and then on the bottom I go from x to x. Okay, so on the top I'm doing 4 minus negative 2, all right, and then on the bottom I'm doing x to x, so negative 2 minus 10. All right, and I'm just going to do that math and simplify. So 4 minus negative 2 is the same thing as 4 plus 2, so that would give me 6. And then negative 2 minus 10 would be negative 12. That's going to simplify to negative 1/2, and that would be my slope. Okay, so either way you do it, I don't really care. Whichever one makes the most sense to your brain is fine with me, as long as we're getting the right answer. Okay, so I want you to try example 3 here. I want you to pause now, do the work, and then come back and I'll have the answer up for you to check. Okay, so whichever method you chose, I wrote out my drawing lines, but even if you plugged in the formula, you should end up with the same math, and you should end up with a slope of 5/2. Okay, so we'll do lots more practice on this in class, but that's going to be it for 4.1.